Action. We are live. Hello, everyone. We are the Oregon Angels, and my name is Brett Franklin, and this is
Wes Howard.
nice to meet everyone. Hope everybody's having a great morning or afternoon. I
Mhm.
mean, sorry.
Well, morning somewhere, afternoon here.
Yeah.
So hey, we got you covered one way or another.
Yeah.
So what's on the agenda for the day?
So far, I really want to get really heavy to where people really understand how serious our actions could be, how much it can affect others, especially people with disabilities, how much it can really impact them.
Okay, and that is a good topic to talk about because it's easy to take things for granted and not realize that how easily something can be mistaken or misconstrued if someone doesn't understand the bigger picture. And oftentimes in the disabled community, that is something that happens quite a bit.
Yes, especially when you're younger age, like when you first started, like in and could possibly start like in the beginning, like kindergarten, all the way through your childhood to adulthood. That's why I'm really excited for this new door that we get to really bust in there, and hopefully we can make a huge difference in the school districts.
For sure, because you know, it's so easy to say yes, we're understanding, we're tolerant, we're inclusive, and this and that. But at the end of the day, it's like, are we really? Are we just blowing smoke out of our asses?
Yeah.
Because I look around, and maybe I'm just that stingy, uh, and really a little bit more hardcore about it of the inclusiveness in terms of the disabled community, and so maybe I'm a little harsher in terms of how I view it, how I accept it, how I deal with it, and I take it a whole lot more serious than perhaps most people probably do, but should take it.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure both of us can relate the things that we went through when we were younger. How people could just be really ugly, or especially kids. Kids could be very malicious, and they just don't understand, or they even went are going through some lot of behavior stuff going on in their home, and they just don't know, and that's why I'm glad we get to get a chance to really educate these individuals and kind of get people on better understanding.
Yeah, for sure. Because and that's so true. And the fact that sometimes growing up, growing up's never easy, um, especially in today's age. Um, and the fact that it is so much stressful than it once was in terms of just get all the technology, you got all the social cues, all the social things, period, where it's you got your internet bullying to your texting bullying, just different things we didn't have to deal with 20, even 30 years ago. I remember growing up, like when someone got made fun of, it was usually you could see a group of people targeting an individual directly on the playground. And one of two things happened. Either they continue to pick on that person until that person either moved out of school district or they eventually get to that point where they just go nuts and end up doing something that they shouldn't do because they get to the point where they can't handle the pretty much the bullying gets to be too much for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I know happens.
And I definitely warn everybody. This is definitely not words for children. There's gonna be things that are gonna be pretty graphic, where we're gonna be saying like think experiences that we have went through and what people have said to us. So definitely be we're just be warning you guys like what's things that the experience. Yeah, there's things that we've been called and stuff like that. Especially certain word it's to me people like me or a lot of us the word that we hear all the time, and it's like a nail on a chalkboard every time I hear it.
Yeah. If you don't feel comfortable saying that word, I'll say it so people can understand what you're getting at here. The word is retarded or retardation. Um, the word is no longer acceptable use in today's society. There's different words or terminology nowadays that are used that we didn't have 120 plus years ago. I mean, think about back in the 1800s, if you were a prominent family and you ended up having a child that was disabled to some degree, that was in their eyes, that was humiliation. That was, well, fuck this kid. We're just gonna bury him away in a room in our house, and sure, we'll make sure they get their basic needs taken care of by having a service, one of their service mates take care of them. But they were oftentimes treated as an outcast in their own family, and in the asylum situation where people would be put in, it's
I can just show you guys videos. I'll probably end up posting a lot of those kind of experience, especially here in Oregon. I was just like, my jaw literally dropped on the ground because I was just like, this is really sad, and this is why I feel like it's definitely that time that we need to step up. I don't know if you can see our shirt in the background over there because it's. I feel like it's time for us to be heard. You know, and people understand. You know, we went through a lot of craziness.
and that's so true because like we're humans. We have our dreams, our goals. We bleed just like anybody. We
Mhm.
have our fears. We have the nightmares. We have everything that everybody else has, except for that one disability. And no matter what that one disability is, no matter how big or how small or whatever it may be, it still affects you your whole life.
Mhm.
There's still that in the back of your mind of, hey, this is who I am. I don't have this disability. This disability, you know, has me in terms of trying to put up with it. But I honestly, from I've read and been able to make out, it wasn't really until about 40 years ago, back in the 70s, where things were really starting to drastically change in terms of the asylums were starting to close down. You started to see more group homes open up, more people start to live in their own homes. The views were starting to really change. The perspective of it was okay, well, this is not humane because in the asylums, oftentimes, and eventually we can put stuff up there for you guys to see what we're talking about. But oftentimes in the asylums, you might have had 100 individuals for one nurse.
Mhm.
And on a good day, that nurse might get to 5 or 6 of them on and that might be a good day.
I'm ready to yeah, like, definitely people know like this is like pretty serious because a lot of time these individuals went to these asylums or like prison, like they couldn't even really even go outside and do things. There was like cages. People, if they had behaviors, they just didn't have time to do it. They just throw them into these like cells.
Yeah. I believe it was, yeah, you know, and a good example, I believe it was the Pennhurst Asylum back in, I
Yeah.
believe in Pennsylvania, is probably one of the 5 most notorious asylums for the disabled and the disabled, mentally ill, insane individuals. And the care back in the, I mean, it got closed down, I believe, in the mid 70s. But I believe this is outside of Pennsylvania where this is at. And the building, the property was kind of, it's kind of old and Mother Nature started to take it back. But just to give you guys an idea how bad it was in there, they would have baby cribs for a whole wing. And you would have had individuals possibly up to 5 or 6 years old in those. And oftentimes they'd be sitting in their own feces and maybe not have eaten for a couple days because there was not enough people to get them to the food, or there was not enough food in the asylum to feed everybody that day. The medical care was pretty much absent. Um, you had oftentimes people that were skin bones. I mean, it was
That's disturbing.
it was a um, very rough thing to go through. I mean, there was an interview on this one show I was going to watch. I can't name it. I think for legality issues. So, but there was. I remember watching this interview from this one lady that she was talking about this place, and you're trying to investigate for ghosts and whatnot, but see if it was really haunted. Which, in my opinion, you got a place like that, yeah, it's going to be haunted for all the evil
Especially
stuff.
if especially if you're taunting them.
Yeah, and this gal, I mean, she was one of the saints. That's the impression I got. I don't know her really in life, but the impression I got during the interview that she was one of the few brave souls that was working at the Pennhurst asylum, and she was doing everything she could to help as many. And she was talking about how she was so overwhelmed and just no matter how hard she tried to get to as many she could, she just couldn't get to all of them. And And she even explained that after she retired, because when the place closed down, she retired, and she just talked about how much emotional wear and tear it had on her in terms that to watch these kids and these older adults with these disabilities be treated not even like first class citizens. Not I mean first class citizens not directly, but like a normal everyday person. They weren't even treated like second class individuals. They were pretty much treated like animals in terms of you just another day in the farm type of mentality, and it was so god awful. To She said it was, this place was I think went on for 1,500 individuals, and by the time they closed it down, they were upwards of around, I think they're saying well over 5,000 individuals, just crammed in. Just imagine this small area. Just imagine your classroom that you had in high school. Just imagine that, and seeing how we're both from California originally here, and growing up in the California schools, even in the newer schools, you had up to about 40 people crammed into a classroom that was not all that big. So to imagine that, but maybe double to triple that of maybe 80 people in a very small confined area, and that right there was kind of like, wow. And not even half of them were getting the care that they need, if they got the care at all.
Man. Yeah, it's tough to hear that because it's just like even when they were places that were sleeping in those asylums. Again, it was like a little. You got the bed, but they had the cage on them like a crib. It was just like, ugh, breaks my heart for all these individuals who had to go through all that. That's just.
There's one image.
My heart goes out to every one of them.
Oh, for sure. And there's just one image that I have that kind of stuck with me after I saw that. This child must have been maybe no older than 7 or 8, but was so, because of the living situation, was actually, you tell is malnourished, skinny as all get out, and this child looked more like not like a 7 or 8 year old, how they should look in a natural developing way that a child should be developing, but they looked more like a 5-year-old than an actual 7 to 8-year-old. And just because of all the things that they're having to deal with, and it was, talk about being behind the typical healthy range that what the doctors talk about was considered healthy, and this young man was really behind several years just on the physical aspect. Then on the mental aspect, who knew where this young man was? Because like you're saying, he was caged pretty much up like an animal, to where he probably didn't get enough of the basic skills to really basically to function. He just was more like, I'm gonna lie here, I'm just gonna wait until I die.
And that's really sad. These individuals shouldn't be feeling like that. They should be really full of happy life. And I felt like they're just ready to die. That's just.
Yeah, but it's there. There's several hardcore asylums back in New York and Pennsylvania that come to mind, and these places are not your typical places. When you think asylum, when you think the hordes that go into asylum, that's barely scratching the surface on that. It's really,
Yeah, especially the behaviors. There was a lot of abuse. There's a lot of I saw some footage. It was just really, really disturbing. Especially this one individual. Even wasn't even really in the sound. I think he was in a group home, and I believe he had a Down syndrome. And there was an individual who just kept um, sexual assaulting him every time, and he kept trying to somewhat throw hints to his mom. She kind of knew there was something. So he was just not acting like a normal self. And then she's like, I can't really take care of him because she's in that around that age, and she was kind of dealing with the loss of her husband. So she was like, I have no choice, but I need to get him out of there.
yeah, and that when you really you're stuck in a rock and a hard spot in that situation, and there's really not much you can do. That's heartbreaking because you look at it like, okay, I know my son's going through some type of issue here, but I don't have the proper resources to pull him out, put him somewhere else that he can be safe and be treated in the way that he can. So oftentimes that stuff was extremely high, or much higher in the disabled community because so many of them are so vulnerable that they can be manipulated to think, hey, this is okay, this is natural. Most of them are not introduced into the society to see how it was acceptable and not acceptable. Uh, I mean, yes, granted, we've come a ways, but honestly, we have not come far
Yeah,
enough.
we're still struggling out there. We really need to really get better on that, especially with a lot of this kind of behaviors that's going on. That's just not good. So if anybody out here work for a person in the public, if you see somebody being abused or any kind of the circle will post it on our thing, all the different types of abuse. If you see any of that kind of stuff, please notify somebody because that's very important. We really need to end this abuse problem.
And there's a number here that I have that we can share to those that are out there to report abuse. The number that I have here is 1-855 503 That's a number that you can contact. I believe I know here on the West Coast, that's a number you can call if you see abuse. And on the back of this little thing I have here, so I'm going to stick it up here, kind of shows a little bit. But on the back, what's great, and I know it's probably not the best. There you go. It shows the types of abuses and everything out there. Everything from physical to medical, people, especially the elders who are getting their money taken by someone who's manipulated them. So we have like abandonment, death, financial exploitation, which pretty much someone like a caretaker or close family member weasels their way into having access to the money and not properly allocating the money. Not They're just abusing the whole financial matter for the person who's perhaps not able to get their medicine that they need. And medication in the disabled world is
It's very, very important.
very.
If they don't, especially like, for example, for my individual, I'm not going to mention the company I work for on the side, and what this person is. Just all I can say is he has autism, and if he doesn't have a certain kind of medicine, it can really affect his mood.
Oh yes.
And really care about these two individuals that I have very much. They've been every time I see them happy and all that, it makes it so worth it to be doing this every day with them.
Oh yeah. And, I think it's sad on how there's this perception out there on individuals. I mean, I know there's people out there, and I understand where they're coming from. I don't agree with it, and I don't like it, but I understand where they're coming from because everybody's different in this way.
Yes.
But when you have people out there that say, "Oh, I don't believe that," because if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. Well, not all disabilities. You cannot see all disabilities on the outside. There's quite a few disabilities on the inside that affect someone. It could be a mental, it could be a physical disability. There's people that have issues with the heart. They may have a hole in their heart that disables them from doing a lot of stuff. So therefore, they're not getting the quality of care or whatever that they need. Or there's a lot of mental things because psychology, and psychiatrists and all that stuff. Within the last 120 years, we made a lot of great leaps and bounds and have better understanding. But put yourself back in the 1800s, where it was common to think, or even earlier than that, where someone has seizure disorder, that they thought, oh, you are a devil worshiper, or there's a demon that's taking you over. Most people didn't have access to that type of education that we have today, 200, 300, 400 years ago. to where they said, "Oh, that was just the devil, the sign of the devil's work." No, guys, that's neurologically something in the brain is, for whatever reason, for that individual is not working properly. And there's various factors that go into that. It could just be something genetic wise, it could be something in the birth that went wrong. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's like that saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. Just because they may not see our disabilities doesn't mean we don't struggle. I know, and this is something that really pisses me off. I have no problem taking people on. When I was younger, I wouldn't talk much about, but now I'm older and I'm a little more vocal about it than I was growing up. I am ADD. What's some tendencies to go with it? And my parents, they did the best that they could with what we knew of ADD, at the time. Now we know a whole lot more about it. We're still figuring out, but from the time I was diagnosed with it in 1980, 1980s till now, there's so much more vast research and gone into it. We know more about it. But what really gets me jerked off or just upset is that there are a lot of parents that just don't have the parenting skills that are letting the kids run on hyper, or or if it's, or they just don't know how to handle their child. There's some kids that are just so energetic. With there are kids that are energetic naturally that are not ADD, but they are just naturally. There's those of us that actually deal with it. That's like, honestly, guys, it's like a reliving a nightmare every day. It's a constant over and over repeat, kind of like that Groundhog Day.
Oh yes.
But you're not living the same day over and over and over that it's going to be coming at you. You just kind of, it's the repeat of the same type of actions going on in the head. It's like, okay, your head's so like a million miles an hour because like naturally like caffeine natural, and the brain's constantly.
Yeah.
But what drives me nuts is that people may not either have the skills to raise children in the right way. Um, the parents may not know how to help their child direct the behavior. You know what I mean by behavior? That your child could be a very energetic, hyper kid and just sheer energy, but maybe the kid doesn't have an outlet to focus themselves on to help tunnel that energy. So when you got those two situations, everybody thinks, oh, that's all ADD. But no. ADD is a totally different animal by itself. Those two are either because parents don't know what they're doing and they need the help. They need someone to come along the line and say, hey, look, let's show you, give you the tools because they don't have them. Or the kid just has so much energy that he or she just does not know how to tunnel it. And the parents are just kind of like at a loss of like, what do I do here?
Yeah.
ADD, honestly, individuals that are ADD or what we call it now, nowadays we call ADHD. When I was growing up with ADD, I was diagnosed ADD with tendencies of hyperness and impulsiveness. Um, Many individuals with this disability are very intelligent individuals. It's just we're intelligent in different ways. It's a lot of your ADD people. Good example is Robin Williams.
Uh,
Um, he was, people with ADD are very energetic, very intelligent people. They got great. A lot of them are greatly gifted. Um, they're smart business people, entertainers, along with many other things. That they're very successful, but they just operate in a different way than what we would consider in society the natural, normal way. Um, we're we're over here out in left field, you know, where everybody else is wandering over here in central, in central field, in center field. We're over here in left field. Hey, what's this over here?
Yeah.
And so therefore, those of us that are naturally truly diagnosed and are correctly diagnosed, like myself, with ADD or ADHD nowadays, that's a frustrating feeling because we're getting judged for something that a lot of people don't understand. And when I was younger, I kept it quiet because, like, I knew people were gonna be like, "Oh, you're just making me." No, dude. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we got people, and I'm not a religious person, it's not a knock on religious people. You have individuals that believe in God, but how do we really know there's God? Now, this is not the knock on people who are religious, because I do believe in a higher power myself. I believe there's something there. So it's just that's the first thing that came to mind that a lot of people would say, well, if you believe in this, how come you can't see it? Well, it's called faith. It's called being able to understand. It's being able to recognize the bigger picture of the situation. And that's why I think a lot of people kind of miss the point is they can't quite see the bigger picture of what's really behind it.
Yeah. My childhood was pretty tough because I have learning disability, and my whole childhood I just had gotten so used to people calling me stupid, calling me the other word I hate, called retarded. But it's just this is the part where I, I just love my family because they've been a huge rock in my life because they kept on fighting for me to get make sure I get the best education I can get, and it's just knowing that they're there for me anytime I needed them. So I just definitely want to say thanks to my family. You guys been a huge impact in my life because it's I might look you know like you were saying looks seeming or okay well there's he's fine. Well, it could be even with my it's mentally with my brain. My brain works very slowly, so it takes a while to kind of pick things up. And but more older I've gotten now, I can pick up things up a lot quicker now.
And that's good that, over that time that you were able to have that ability come along for you to start having things come together. Well, I'm very popular. My phone's going crazy today. Um, but you're right because it's if I didn't know you and I was looking at you and you said, "Oh, I got this disability," I'm probably gonna be like, "Whatever, dude. You're not. You don't show the signs of a disability. You don't show the signs. Well, how do you know that? Just because someone has a learning disability or has something up here that we can't see doesn't mean there's not anything there.
Yeah,
I mean, there's the brain. Yeah, we may not have a full understanding of the brain yet, and we only have a certain amount of understanding at this point. But if you look at how medically, how science in the medicine world has evolved in such a short period of time, it had to do with people finally saying, you know what was considered immoral is now considered moral under an ethical side. We finally had to recognize we need to start dissecting the bodies to understand what the hell's going on here. I mean, it wasn't until the 60s that we started seeing heart transplants and everything else really started to happen because people are finally starting to realize, you know what, we got to figure something out here. There's got to be an answer here for us to be able to correct these things or at least have a better understanding if we cannot fix them.
yeah,
And same thing, so with the physical medical field in the physical aspect of it, we start figuring that out. Now in the mental part, we're starting to figure that out because now we're like, okay, well, we now know A, B, C, and D and what causes A, B, C, and D. So how can we now get the information out to people to educate them to perhaps we may not be able to completely eradicate something, but we can definitely decrease the amount of people that have them if we can educate people on how to deal with this. It just could be a simple change of a diet that could, certain foods out of the diet that could be causing certain things in the person's body. I mean, I'm not so much saying we should go play God. No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just saying, hey, let's get smarter about this. Let's continue to get better. Let's continue to improve as a species because we have the capability of doing that. Let's just and I do understand the moral aspect of things. Yes, it's necessary to keep us from getting too out there, keep us from getting to be too savage like. So yeah, I mean, let's do it with a respectable, honorable way, and not get so crazy to where all of a sudden, you know what, we got people disappearing for scientific sense. No, let's not get that crazy, people. But let's just definitely start being open minded on how to grow.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's especially being an adult. That's I think that's another thing is we struggle to when we go try to look for like a job. People when they find when you have to tell them that you have disabilities, a lot of times they'll be like, "Yeah, I don't think I want that responsibility on my hands," and that's when I'm like, okay, that's where I feel like there needs to be change on that because I believe everyone should have the same rights as everyone else,
That's
same opportunities,
and
no
that's
matter
true.
what the job is.
I mean, I was always told if you want something bad enough, you go work for it, and I say that's a true saying. And I also say, for those that have disabilities, they just want something just as much as anybody else. They want their slice of heaven or whatever it is, or whatever you want to call it. They want their slice of it too.
Yes.
Um, and that's one thing that I've come to appreciate about the disabled community that I have a lot of respect for, that so many people that are not disabled can learn from, or so many of them have forgotten, especially here in the States where it's work, 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 money, 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 and that things of that nature. Now, I mean, yeah, we all need to work and make money, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't go get a job, um, but individuals that are in the disabled community, they want their slice. They want to be able to feel as though they're contributing. They want to feel that they are part of something just like anybody else. So to look at someone with a disability, so what if it takes them a little bit longer to get something? The fact is, if they get the opportunity, I'm pretty sure a lot of these people with disabilities will outwork a lot of people that don't have them.
You'd be surprised how dedicated we would be there to really work really hard for what we want to achieve.
Yeah, and there's a young lady I grew up with from about junior high all the way through high school. She went to the local junior college there from where we're from. Shout out to Visalia, California. Love you guys. Growing up, watching her grow up, she was disabled. It was obvious. You could tell, um, just by how she was developed as an individual. She was on the small, I mean small size. You could probably mistaken her for a 12, 13-year old because that's how small she is. Um, and she probably could pass for that. Really, I mean, not to be mean, but just her physical appearance, she looks that young, or had that look to her. Um, to give everybody an idea, but she has several health issues that physically is taking a toll on her. But she also has her share of mental disabilities on top of that. And this young lady who started out in special education through, I'm pretty sure through elementary, through her whole life on into college, to the junior college, she, this is where I say that we are just as capable, but may take us a little longer. It took her, yeah, she graduated with her high school diploma, which was awesome. But it took her, I think, about 12, almost 13 years from the time she started out of junior college to get all her classes done that she needed to transfer to a 4-year university. And she passed a lot of the classes with C's and B's, but that's not the point. It's the fact that she did it. Yeah, granted, it took her 12 years to go from a junior college to a 4-year. But the fact that she is doing it, she is just as capable as the next person. And that's something I think a lot of people don't really see, or don't really anticipate. It's okay. By the time she's done, sure, she might be 40 by the time she gets her bachelor's degree, but at the end of the day, she's doing something that people have told her you can't do. So she's kind of giving one giant finger F you.
Yeah, that's a lot of things that we hear a lot. Like you can't do this, you can't do that. It's just like just give us the opportunity, and
Yeah.
we will end up surprising you.
Oh yeah, and it's I'm proud of her for doing what she's doing. I'm proud of her for sticking through it and fighting for it. So I mean, those who've had the opportunity to go to a university, college, knows how difficult, how much pressure and everything that's put on you to do that. Anybody that can do that, especially with a disability, and then walk away with a degree, if they can do it, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of having that will to do it. Um, but it is a sad thing, I think, across the board, because you got people who are quick to judge, and this is something that I want to throw out there, because this is something that I think needs to be started to be pushed. Um, you yourself recently, you've been trying to get your permanent license and whatnot here recently.
Yes.
And I would love people to send us a message, send us the support on this. This would be greatly appreciated, because he's got the capability. He can do, and he's very well and very familiar with the laws and the driving and everything. You are very there,
Yeah, very cautious around my surroundings.
and knowing that, seeing you firsthand, that you have the capability of doing so. I think the test, when it comes to the test, especially here in Oregon, I'm going to throw out some other examples here. Here in Oregon, it's about a 37 question test, 35 question test.
30 questions, and you had the maximum of ones you can have wrong were 8 answers.
Okay, so, but yet here's something that I've seen is a little interesting that you shared with me, is that a 16-year-old going for the test only has to answer 20, you said?
20, yeah.
Okay, so my argument, and this is something I want to gain more support on and start pushing, is recognizing individuals like my co-host right here, that they're perfectly capable, but we need to resync the test for those that are like him. Like I'm saying that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Shame on you for having that.
Because in California, I've actually passed the test, but what they have in California was so much different, because they have a thing where they've somewhere like a program for people with disabilities. If you tell them that you have disabilities, then they tell you like a test for little quest right there, right in front of them. If you can guess what the basic signs are that they put, the signs that put on this piece of paper, if you get it all right, then you qualify to do the true and false questions. And see, that's where a lot of people with disabilities would feel better, because you would hear only one answer, just the basic, just really knowing all what it is.
Yeah.
But like with the ones that I've been keep getting stuck on, because you hear 2 answers with the normal test, and it's people with disabilities. It's just so hard to get it, and and you see other people get it their first try, and it's just so frustrating, because you can do it.
Yeah, and these tests have or multiple choice tests.
Yeah.
Or some people like to call multiple guess.
And there's some where like, really, I mean, there's no way I would end up doing like being in a truck or something like that. It's just like,
and then they ask you,
frustrating.
they give you 4 answers. But the funny thing about these tests, at least from what I noticed, and I'm pretty sure you have too, they'll give you four answers, right? But 2 of them will work. Either one of them will work.
Either one, and that's just where it's like, okay, it's which one really makes sense. But even when you pick it, it's the wrong answer, and it's the other one, and it's like, okay, why just stick with the basic, the one that really makes more sense in the laws.
Because you're sitting there, you got test 1, A, B, C, and D, both A and C will work, but on test 1 they want A, but on test 2 they want C. Well, to me, with both of those being the same answer or both would work, they should both be honored because you're showing and demonstrating that I know what's being asked to me. Because both of those, oftentimes, and for a lot of us, because myself included on this, been driving for a long period of time. Either one will work. It's just as long as they say they just want to see that you understand things. Yeah, you understand, but when you're saying no on test one, we only wanted A, and on test two, we wanted B, and on test three, they wanted D. It's like we gave you the answer on any of these tests that would have worked.
Yeah.
So I think I want to make a push to where here in the state of Oregon, and we would love your support on this.
Yes, please.
Send your support to our email page or to our email or to our website at Oregon State. Oregon State. We're singing the football game that we just played a couple nights up here ago. Go Beavers.
Yes.
Um,
Great games they do.
Great season.
Make
for
it
these
so
guys.
interesting.
They do. Great season for these guys. We're sitting at 7-4 right now, bowl eligible. So good job, guys.
Yes.
Keep up the good work. We're going to get better as we go here. But hit us up at Oregon Angels 2021 at gmail.com if you want to support us. Just give us your name in a way we can contact you, and we will add you to our list of supporters on this because we're going to be eventually going up to Salem here to make a push on change there. Or if you want to go to our website and hit us up on our message board and just tell us who you are and say, yes, we support you on this. Let's do this. Let's get this to where people can have that opportunity.
Because for people with disabilities, we want to help give you that voice, to give you these options where you can do these kind of things. If you want to learn how to drive, we can help hopefully we can help talk to the governor of Oregon and see if we can make these changes.
And the way I look at it, if the state of California, where we both came from originally, we're up here in Corvallis. We love Corvallis. Love Oregon. A lot of amazing people up here. So just want to send out some love to the people of Oregon here. Just great people up here. So much love to everybody.
Yes.
But we think if many more people such as my partner in crime here, who have the ability but just need something to kind of tweak to where they can be able to do it, let's show that support. Let's get to where they can have perhaps a true or false test, or make it to where there's a certain way that they can take this test and still be functioning members of society, because a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And it's just when you're preventing them from being able to take that next step to be even more contributing even more, we're really shooting ourselves in the foot with that, because when you have a population of individuals who want to contribute, but we're kind of denying them the opportunity to contribute, we're really hurting ourselves.
Yes.
We really are, because so many of them can do. It's just we've got to change our thinking of these guys can't to these guys can, and finding ways to make it happen. I honestly believe that everybody can contribute, and we really need to stop this. Oh, because you got this disability, you can't do. No, I just think you're just too scared to see what this person's capable of doing.
No, we really would love to open a lot of these doors for everyone who has disabilities, because that's, like I said, I'm just tired of people saying you can do this but you can't do that. It really needs to end. Because everybody should have that same opportunity.
No, and you're right. They should, because at the end of the day, I honestly think our system is so caught up on, well, we're this or this or this. Well, okay, we got to get past that. Of okay, well, I come from this rich family, so I can be able to do anything. Well, that's nice. You come from a rich family, but that doesn't really matter.
No.
It's about your character. I mean, it's great that you come from a rich family. That's cool that you come from a middle class family or poor family. There's nothing wrong with these things. It's the fact that people it's about the character of the individual. Just because someone came from a middle class family doesn't mean they're bad people. Or if someone came from a poor family, that doesn't mean shit, really.
Yeah.
I've known several people from the poor community that were just absolutely amazing people, that were just good people. Um, I've met people from the middle class that were just absolutely great people, and same thing with rich. But then I've also had the other side of that, to where you see these people that are sheer just assholes. And it's like, you know what? We don't need the assholes of society. We could go without. And yes, I'm a little bit more animated verbally with some words a little bit more colorful. I do know that in this episode, so I do apologize for that.
Yeah, that's why we want to warn people. It's just showing how frustrating it is, and we even feel frustrated for these individuals that the things that we deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. That's why a lot of times we're just very passionate what we do. And that's why we really want to make a difference. Like at least like especially with me, like my last thing I would want to have as my legacy that I can make a difference in somebody's life.
Right. And that is an absolute amazing thing to have, really. You know, that knowing that you did something, you stood for what you believed was the right thing to do. You know, just getting out there and fighting that every day. And
Yes.
I know I'm not perfect. I made my mistakes. I can own my mistakes. I'm okay with that. I'm human. I can accept that. But I kept growing. I kept getting better. I kept showing, hey, I am capable. And I know when I was working with kids before I started working with the disabled community, I used to do daycare, preschool, and all that stuff. But at the time, knowing I look back now knowing that I was that positive male role figure, or that positive male role model for so many kids that need that. To me, that I can go to my grave knowing, hey, I did something right here.
Yes.
I was that role model when that kid needed that role model, despite what was going on in my own life.
I can definitely say like I opened so many doors and broke so many barriers that I can be like, you know what? It's I know I did what I was asked to do when I came to came here.
Yeah, and I mean, I know one of the big things that you talked about, and I think it'd be great to share with everybody. And we kind of talked about this off and on. Is one of the big things that you're into is the Comic Con stuff, and just you shared with me how much you enjoyed that, and a couple times, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you also shared that just how big this can be just for getting more people
Oh yeah,
involved.
it's a great community, and really everybody's welcome, no matter what race. If you're big like us, skinny, it really doesn't matter what technology you are. You are welcome to to these events. So they're very open for everyone. And if you would like to come to the ones that we're going to be going to, and that's going to be one of the Comic Cons we're going to be doing next month, and that's going to be the let's see if I say this right, the Anim-
The Emerald
Emerald City Comic Con, and it's in Seattle, Washington, and it's just next month. It'll be the 2nd through the 5th. We're gonna be the one. We're gonna go to the last one on the 5th, and see. Okay, then the celebrity guests that will be there. Let's see. Try and make sure I get the names right. I'm all writing down the ones that are pretty big. Let's see. I say this person's name.
I want to say Danny.
Danny
Dante. I'm sorry,
Thompson
Dante Basco.
Bosco. He played as Rufio from Hook. He will be at this Comic Con, and
LeVar, Jordy from Star Trek,
he's gonna be there. And then we got
Hayden Christensen.
Christian. He played Anakin Skywalker, the adult version of it from episode 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then we got WWE wrestler John Cena will be there. And then the main course, where it gets me really excited to announce this person's name, and it's just the latest celebrity who's going to be there. Whew. the one that's really got me into horror day one when I first watched this individual who played the original Pennywise, Mr. Tim Curry.
That is exciting.
I'm really pumped. I can't wait to meet him and possibly even have a surprise for him. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention that till the day because I want to make sure Tim Curry doesn't have wind of this. So I want to leave this as a special thing for him. So if you guys want to come and be a part of it,
yes, come on up to Seattle, have a good time. If you can, stay for all 4 days. If you can.
Yes.
If you can only make it for one, that's awesome too. I mean,
it's so fun. And if anybody wants to be part of it, learn how to be a cosplayer, or just want to come and just want me to show you guys around and just hanging out and having a good time, we would gladly do that. Don't be scared because the outfit I'm going to be wearing for this Comic-Con, I'm going to dress as the original Pennywise. So I'm going to have a lot of stuff on.
The old school, not the one that you see in the new.
Yeah, but that was the first cosplay character I did from the new version one, but the one I really was excited for this one because I can really bust out the old school Pennywise one. And I had a lot of people ask me that, and they wanted me to dress up as Tim Curry's Pennywise. So finally, I get the chance to really do this, and I get to do it in front of Tim Curry.
Yeah. And for those of you that are familiar with The Book It by Stephen King, seen the original movie, then you guys have a good idea of what he's wearing. For those that maybe read the book but never seen the movie or never seen the original period,
you've got to watch the original Stephen King's It. It was like a TV series one, but it was a great movie.
It was. I remember watching parts of it with my mom when I was a kid, and it was a trip. It definitely was a trip.
Yeah. And I was very fortunate. I got to meet a couple of the original cast members of the Losers Club. The one that played Ben. I want to make sure I say his name right without trying to butcher it. Brandon Crane, who played Mike. And then the other one I was very fortunate got to meet was Mike. He played the younger Mike. Marvin Taylor. So yeah, when I met them, super nice individuals. We got along really good, and got them as pretty good friends. We still talk once in a while, and yeah, it's been a great experience to finally got to meet these individuals. I did have a I wouldn't say action figure. It was like a Pennywise doll that I got from the sign, but then when I went to head back home, it was great. It was during that when I got to meet Marvin Taylor. Yeah, so crazy because it was a crazy day because after I think it was during the wildfires.
Oh yeah,
it was around there. And we were at Blue Lake Comic-Con, and we were heading back home, and one of the bus driver thing, I told him to take it really easy because I had some glass stuff because I had a table full of like Halloween stuff, and there was some like a globe of Jack the Skeleton thing, and then I had that thing right next to it, the box that had the Pennywise doll thing, and I'm like, can you please take it easy, put it in the luggage in the bus. He kind of tossed in there, but for some reason the glass of the bulb thing just leaked all over my Pennywise thing and destroyed it. So I'm like, ew. So I ordered a new one. Hopefully I can get Tim Curry to sign it, and hopefully one day get all the other original cast members to sign it, and that would definitely make one of my bucket lists complete because that'd be the most awesome experience if I get that chance.
Well, that'd be cool, bro.
hmm I know it was definitely one of the awesome experiences. Got to host the premiere of it, Chapter Two, when it came out. Where I got to wear the whole outfit, and that was a good time. It was a long day, but it was great. I had a professional makeup artist do my makeup, and she did an awesome job. I think it was only like an hour or two, or could have been more. I'm not sure. I have a video if anybody wants to see it. How long it took. I think it's even on my Facebook page if anybody wants to check that out. And it was a good process, but she did an awesome job. I'll put her out there more if anybody say wants to hook her up. Want to do her, she does a really awesome job with face paint and stuff like that. So if anybody wants to, I can always look up for anybody in your area if you want to learn how to learn or have somebody professionally do your face paint. I can help you with that kind of stuff. Find the best price and the right person you can find.
Nice. Awesome, bro.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to see Tim Curry.
Yeah. That's gonna be awesome because I know just how much that would mean to you. So
It's awesome. It'd be awesome. Another thing we want to talk about is mental health. There's a lot of struggles with that, and if anybody feels like they just don't want to be here and stuff like that, or they just we don't want you to hurt yourself or do anything like that. If you want to have somebody to talk to, or if we can help find something to help you, and you can contact us on our website or our email, OregonAngels2021.com or OregonAngels21@gmail.com. We gladly will help as much as you can to help you out. Or you can call your nearest mental health line near you.
And we, like you said, and I'm gonna back this up on this sport. Please get the help that you need. It is we do realize you are going through hardship. We may not understand the whole hardship, what's going on that you're dealing with, but we value you as an individual. We value you as a person, and we care enough to see that you're getting that help you need. Um, and just to let know everybody out there that are suffering, that are struggling with that, we do care for you. There are people that care for you. There's a help out there. It it does hit hard or close to home for the both of us. We have our own experiences in terms of lost loved ones on that. Um, so we really want to push hard to get you guys the help that you need, even if it's just having someone just to. If you just want to blow up and get it all out, that's fine. We understand.
We're good listeners. We'll gladly take it wherever we can to help you guys out.
Because it's mental health is no joke. It
No.
shouldn't be taken lightly. So please, if you need that help, contact us. Like you said, contact your local agencies for that help. Um, we understand the feeling that you may have of there's no hope, but there is. Please keep going. There are people out there that do care.
Yes. Yeah. Gotta be really careful. About your health, especially the field that we're in. It's very important.
Yeah. And in the field that we work, it does play a toll on you on such an emotional level that you would never really think that it would, but it does. Because with what we do in the field that we work in, you are mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, along with many other things. You play multiple roles. Is the point we're making here, and it's at the end of the day, it does pull on you because so many of these individuals just don't have the family dynamic that they deserve, which is honestly sad.
Yes. So definitely, let's take care of our mental health. If you, like I said, if you need anybody to talk to, you can contact us in either one of those platforms, or even on Messenger on Facebook. You can do that, or you can go on our website, OregonAngels2021.com, or you can send us an email at OregonAngels2021@gmail.com, or you can call your nearest mental health organizations. It's very important make sure we're to get that taken care of.
Yeah, because depression or whatever you may be going through is no joke.
We totally understand.
Yeah, so what's that? I don't know about you, but I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a
Yes.
safe, happy Thanksgiving, safe travels to everybody for those who are traveling out there. Be safe out there on the road, please. Get to where you're going safely and get home safely. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's make sure we have a safe but fun one. And when you're going out and about, heading out with your family, moms, dads, adults out there, let's be the positive role models we need for our kids. Let's show that we still have like an old American big heart and care for one another, and show the understanding and tolerance that I know we as a nation have.
Yes.
So just be careful, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
God bless you all, and we love you guys all very much.
Be safe.
Bye bye.